morning. My name is Ebony Stringfellow. I was born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area. I was a former resident that resided at Lincoln Heights and Richardson dwellings. Just to watch the project unfold from the beginning to the end was such a great opportunity. Then, having the opportunity to move in this brand new building was amazing. We chose Providence Place because it's just still home. It's just home with all new features. What I love the most about the building is the gym. And also, we have the rooftop, amazing. We just could go out there, sit with your family, sit outside up there. We also have the underground parking, which is also amazing because all the thefts and stuff that's going on in the area, I need my car protected. Okay, so then, most of all, the rental office. Everyone in the rental office, I can call them no matter, what time it is. If it's urgent, they'll come. And the building, the amenities, just to walk into a fresh building, the smell, the atmosphere, the people, my neighbors. It's from where I came from. I'm 35, so I've been here, I've been there. Now I'm here. And it's amazing. There's nothing else that I could have asked for in this building. So with that being said, I would like to introduce our mayor, Mayor Bowser.
Thank you, Ellen. Great remarks. Great remarks. Let's give Ebony a big round of applause. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to Providence Place. So I, again, want to thank Ebony for welcoming us. I want to thank our DMPED team who is here, our real estate and development team in DMPED, the DC Housing Authority, as well as teams from the Atlantic Pacific Communities and Urban Matters. So all of those teams have been instrumental in getting us here today. And I, of course, want to give a big thank you to the Progressive National Baptist Convention for providing this land. Give them a big round of applause. It's been a long time since we've been working together with the Progressive National Baptist Convention, with Urban Matters, and with all of the teams that have been involved here. I also want to acknowledge our partner on the council, the at-large council member for housing, Anita Bonds. Give her a big round of applause as well. I also want to, again, welcome Ebony and all of her neighbors to this historic campus. This project is on the same land that the Progressive National Convention purchased 100 years ago. So that Nanny Helen Burroughs could build her school for women and girls. And all these years later, we're still putting this site to good use for the residents of Ward 7. And because of your commitment to this community today, we're cutting the ribbon on 93 new homes. All of them affordable and reserved, and 35 reserved for residents from Lincoln Heights and Richardson dwellings. And after this, I'm going to be headed over to the Strand to cut the ribbon, another project that we've been working on for a number of years. And at the Strand, there will be 86 more affordable homes. So with that, I want to say that the Progressive National Baptist Convention has been ahead of your time. This project has come together for many years, and in the past few years, we've been hearing more and more about faith-based organizations who want to help build affordable housing. We have focused our faith-based efforts on exactly that, using land that's underused to create homes for DC residents. So we are reaching out directly to faith-based communities about their land and about how you can work with us to create more housing. I have also appointed faith-based members to our Black Home Ownership Strike Force to help us come up with more ideas about how Black Washingtonians could buy housing in Washington, D.C. To reach our goal of 36,000 new units by 2025 is going to take all of us. It's going to take a lot of creativity, a lot of money, a lot of focus, and it's going to, quite frankly, take some big ideas and some big pocketed partners. And one thing I found out is all our faith communities, they have some big pockets. They have access to, lending and funds, and they know how to put them to work across the country. Am I right? Yeah. I know I'm right. So I want to keep working together. And I'm not just talking about what parishioners are putting in the baskets to help operate the churches. I'm talking about some real funds. Labor communities have them, private developers have them, faith communities have them, that all of their monies from across the country, in some cases across the world, have been pooled so that they can make investments in their mission. And so we want to be able to tap in to those types of investments too. So we know, it looks like we have promised the residents of Lincoln Heights, Richardson Dwellings, and all of Deanwood, that we are going to keep our word about building housing, building replacement housing, and making sure that all of our residents have a fair shot in our city, in the city that they love. So I, too, want to acknowledge members of my team who are here. Sheila Miller, who is the project manager at DMPEG. Give Sheila a big round of applause. John Falchicchio, the Deputy Mayor for Economic Development, Lamont Carey, the Director of MORCA, Natalie Snyder, the Director of the Mayor's Office of Caribbean Affairs, my eyes and ears in Ward 7, Sadia Jenkins, who is the Ward 7 MOCR. And we are also going to hear from folks who have been instrumental in how this project has come to be. First, we're going to hear from the council member, Anita Bonds, then Sheila Miller, and then Ray Nix. But before I turn to the council member, I want to acknowledge ANC members who are here. I see Anthony Lorenzo Green from ANC 7C. Dorothy Douglas, I understand, is here as well, and Tyrell Holcomb. So with that, I want to invite council member Bonds to speak.
Madam Mayor. And thank you all for being here today for this important occasion. Is there someone who needs to be acknowledged? No? I thought the mayor did a very good job, but if she didn't see a commissioner, okay, all right. Well, again, thank you all so very much, and I wanted to start by saying, here we are again, yet another ribbon cutting for affordable housing in the district. Is this a happy occasion or what?
Yes.
All right, okay. Providence Place and the Strand, 100% affordable housing developments. And they also benefit the sweet spot for my priorities for affordable housing, and that's housing for our seniors and the disabled populations. As we all know, they're working towards the mayor's goal of 36,000 new housing units by 2025 is a daunting task, but we are well on our way, right, Mayor?
That's right.
All right, and part of that, which I think we're all very concerned about, is the 12,000 units of affordable housing. That would be units that I understand today the area medium income or family medium income is 142,000. So we can do the math when we talk about units at 0 to 30% or units at 0 to 50%. We're talking about our households, and this is households of 4. It's not an individual, but households of 4. So you begin to see the level of need really and truly within our community. And so this is part of the goal that is being addressed today. And so I know you don't want to talk about all that. We want to talk about the fun stuff, the happy stuff, and that is that we are here to cut this ribbon, and we are so very grateful to the clergy and the faith-based community for understanding how precious their land is and what difference it can make in community for community. So let's give them a big round of applause. Those who are here representing, because this is a big deal. This is truly a big deal. I like to think about how this project will benefit our seniors. I always think about the fact that how we treat our seniors as they get older with their increasing needs will honor and provide dignity and respect as a reflection of how we value ourselves and our future generations. Because all of us will get here if we're lucky. All of us. So just keep that in mind. So when folks say, why are we doing so much for seniors and I really need it for this, that, or the other? Seniors have to be at the top of our priority these days for obvious reasons. Now, it's very hot in here, and I'm saying taking too long. So let's just say, okay, all right. All right, I'm going to close because I'm taking too much time. I have all these great words to talk about, quality construction. We want to make sure that all of our units are built with quality construction. Why? Because we want to make sure that the people who occupy them are taken care of. But we also, as a government, have to be concerned that quality construction means it will last for decades. Because we don't have money to keep coming back again and again. So that's the whole idea. But I thank you all for being here, for caring, and for pushing forth with this project. And to my friends at Lincoln Heights and these other areas of the city that will enjoy this new beginning, and to the ANCs that are always going to keep the mayor and myself and others on our toes, thank you so very, very much for caring and being here today. And thank you, Mayor. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Anita is absolutely right. We invest in high quality housing that is affordable. And we also have to keep an eye on its maintenance, not just this year, but throughout the years. So next up is Sheila Miller.
Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing on this very warm summer afternoon? As the mayor said, I am Sheila Miller. I'm representing DMPED. I am the director of the New Communities Initiative. Today we are here to celebrate the mayor's promise to bring affordable housing to the Deanwood community with the grand opening of 2 affordable housing properties, as the mayor described. Providence Place, which we're here, which will have 93 units. 35 will be reserved for Lincoln Heights and Richardson dwelling residents. And then, of course, the Strand, which we'll celebrate a little later. Again, both projects will deliver 179 affordable units, of which a total of 63, again, will be set aside for Lincoln Heights and Richardson dwelling residents. I'd like to close by thanking our partners, because without them, this project, nor the Strand, would have been possible. So first I want to start with our development partners. For Providence Place, Urban Matters, Atlantic Pacific Communities, and Progressive National Baptist. For the Strand, of course, would be the National NHP Foundation, the Warrington Group, and Washington Metro CDC. For our lender partners, we have PNC and JLL. And our district partners, DCHA, which, I want to give kudos to Brittany Holloway over there for assisting residents with moving over to the Strand and Providence Place. A lot of hard work, and so I know it was tough, so I want to acknowledge you publicly, so I thank you. And, of course, our Housing Finance Agency. And then, of course, we have our DMPED Human Capital Partners, Home for Hopes, that assisted with the transition of residents over to Providence Place and the Strand. And last but not least, I'd like to thank our steadfast community leaders. Special shout out to the ANC 7. I think I saw Commissioner ANC, excuse me, ANC 7C. Apologize. Yes, I don't know where he is, but I saw a special shout out to Commissioner Holmes and Commissioner Malloy. They are two very passionate community advocates. The community is very lucky to have them. Without them, I don't know where we would be. But they're extremely passionate. I'm going to emphasize that because they want to make sure that, that Lincoln Heights Richardson dwelling residents, as well as the Deanwood community, has a fair shot. So I want to give them a special recognition because without them, we wouldn't be here. So with that, I'll close. Thank you for your time. And I'd like to turn it over to Ray Nix, who is the co-founder and chief executive officer of Urban Matters. Thank you.
Good afternoon, good people. So it is wonderful to see Councilmember Bonds, Reverend Peoples from Progressive National Baptist Convention. Thank you, Sheila, for the introduction. I didn't get a chance to speak with him, but I did see Deputy Mayor Falchecchio in the building. I want to just, our new neighbor, Miss Ebony, thank you so much for your passion and your delivery and your willingness to stand up in front of this crowd and talk about your experiences in the past and how happy you are to call this home. I also want to recognize, if you could stand up, young man, this is Mr. Martez. He's 10 now? 11 now, okay. 12 now, okay. And I just saw you 3 weeks ago, you're already 12. So he was one of the first families moving in, and I caught him wandering around the place with his eyes open and asked him if he had the right place, and he says, yes, I'm home. So welcome, Martez. So Mayor Bowser, thank you for your vision, your bold vision. Thank you for your leadership in creating a climate in the District of Columbia that gives small businesses like mine a fair shot. And happy birthday, by the way. I know it's not coming up, but happy birthday, if I can say that real quick. I stand here on top of the land that I'm told used to be referred to as the Holy Hill. And as a proud member of the Providence Place Development Team with my partners Atlantic Pacific Communities and the visionaries of Progressive National Baptist Convention. Much like my mentor and confidant, Pastor Lionel Edmonds, I sometimes look to music for my inspiration when pulling together remarks and arguing with my son over the weekend about which XM station we were going to listen to. We found a common ground on Drake's hit, Started from the Bottom, Now We're Here. So I checked, and 24 months, this is probably Angelica's doing, but 24 months to this day, we had the groundbreaking at the bottom of this hill. Timing couldn't be more perfect. We stood here with the mayor and the council member, rest in peace Todd Lee from DCHFA, and we celebrated the beginning of the breaking ground for this journey. And now, as the song goes, now we're here. We're at the top of the hill in this special place, now home to Miss Ebony, now home to young Martez, making up 93 families, 35 of which could have walked over here and just followed the moving truck. But the origin story goes back a little further. My first meeting with PNBC and former President Dr. Perkins was in 2016, where the leaders talked about a vision and desire. They talked about delivering a premier residential building that would be accessible and affordable to this community. It would serve as a model and inspire a new generation of thinking about what affordable looked like. We voluntarily and intentionally partnered with the community for specific economic goals and benefits that would not only benefit the district residents, but specifically Ward 7 residents and Ward 7 businesses. It would be a great neighbor and continue PNBC's strong legacy as a servant and a stakeholder. And as I look around this room, albeit it's a little warm, and walk through this provident place, it feels like we executed on this vision. If I think about the ongoing engagement with Brother Holmes and our single member district commissioner, Patricia Malloy, and our civic association from Deanwood, it feels like we got it right. So what our partnership came to realize, and what I've come to realize as growth, is that it doesn't require bells and whistles. This community demanded transparency and a development team who was willing and committed to keeping their promise. Every month on those meetings, and bless Brother Williams down the street with his beautiful building, it was repeated to us by the stakeholders, do what you say you're going to do. Through the partnership of our finance team at PNC, the amazing creative staff at our district partners from DMPED, DCHFA, and DCHA, the talented design and construction team members from Torrey Gallos to Hamel Builders, along with our co-developer, Progressive National Baptist Convention, we were able to do what we said we were going to do. And in closing, I'd like to quickly lift up my serial development partner, Ken Naylor, all the way up from South Beach, and his team at Atlantic Pacific Communities. So no deal is perfect, and in 25 years, I've yet to come across an easy transaction. But after I left that vision meeting in 2016 with Progressive National Baptist Convention, I made one phone call, to Miami, and I started pitching the project to Ken to see if he'd be interested, and he interrupted me and said, I'm in. And this deal, notwithstanding COVID, has seen its shares of bumps and bruises along the way, but he never wavered one bit on his commitment to this partnership, this commitment to this building, and as a default, this commitment to the District of Columbia. So thank you, Ken, for being a great partner. So congratulations to the city, congratulations to our team, congratulations to the Strand, and congratulations to Deanwood USA, Reverend Peoples.
Well, good afternoon to the Honorable Mayor Bowser and city and county officials. We'd like to recognize our Providence Place partners. I want to recognize Atlantic Pacific, who we have partnered with for this project. We also want to recognize the PNBC CDC board members, our First Vice President, Dr. Byrd, our General Secretary, Dr. A. Wayne Johnson. There's a few of our past presidents, former presidents who are here. We want to recognize the tenants. What a beautiful thing it is to hear the stories from some of the tenants this morning of Providence Place and this community. This has been a project that has been in the making for several years. A vision of the 20th president, Dr. James Perkins, who is present. I want him to raise his hand so you know who he is. The construction carried on by our late president, Dr. Timothy Stewart, and now the opening and the ribbon cutting during our present administration. We thank God for this realization. One of the most important things every person should have and experience is being able to have a place they can proudly call home. These affordable units are designed to lift this community and the possibility of what our people can accomplish and offer. Having a safe and affordable place to reside can give hope and an opportunity for people to live their dreams with dignity and reach their goals. The Bible says your gift will make room for you. God will literally make room for you and a place for your gift to be housed and fostered and flourishing. Despite all the negative things we hear and feel throughout the world and country and community, let this be a reminder. The little can become much when we place it in the Master's hand. Ephesians 3:20 tells us and says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. So on this historical land of PNBC, we affectionately call, yes, the Holy Hill. We pray we have made the cloud of witnesses that have gone from labor to eternal reward proud. Let us continue to be a light in a dark world. May these affordable units be a blessing to the tenants, this community, this city, and PNBC. And to God be the glory. Turn it back to the mayor.
Thank you, President Peoples. And I want to thank everyone once again for being here for this celebration, for hearkening back to when we broke the ground all together and now we are here to celebrate families in a new home. So I am now going to take a few questions. We're going to walk outside and do the ribbon cutting. Any questions? Any press questions, please?
Yes, Mayor. I've asked this question before. What is affordable? And in this case, I'm just curious because I got an email, and honestly, I don't know the answer. But the email said that a person making minimum wage would not be able to get one of these units. What's your response to that?
I'm pretty sure that people who make less than minimum wage are in some of these units. But let me ask Sheila to come and respond specifically about the... Okay, I'm going to have Sheila come back and give you the specifics about this building. We know that 35 units are reserved for residents of our public housing. They're exiting from Richardson dwellings or from Lincoln Heights, which qualify them to be here. So that's 35 of, I think, the 93, and then we'll tell you the remainder of the units.
Also, I'm just kind of curious, what if you're not, let's say, qualified for public housing, but say you're just working a job?
Sheila, the question is, what are the income eligibility requirements for this building?
The statement that was sent to me was that a person making minimum wage would not qualify for one of these units.
So for the Lincoln Heights Richardson dwelling residents, the units are set aside for them individuals that make no more than 30% of AMI. The remaining units, which are tax credit units, are available to individuals that make up to 60% of AMI, which I believe that exceeds minimum wage. But it goes up to 60% of AMI for the tax credit units, the remaining units.
A person that makes minimum wage would qualify?
Yes, they would.
Yes, Mark.
I've got one on, one off.
Okay.
Topic. So on topic, are all the units in this building spoken for already? Is it 100% occupied, or are there opportunities?
It's full.
How about the Strand? Is that the same?
In the Strand?
Close to being full, not 100%.
Okay.
Yes, both are full.
Both
And then-
have been occupied.
So off topic, can you update us on your efforts with the migrant buses that are coming from Texas and Arkansas that we see seemingly on an increasing basis down near Union Station?
Sure. So we are very focused, and we continue to be very focused on having the federal government do its part and take the lead in addressing what we see as a growing humanitarian crisis with people who are seeking asylum, coming across the country to get to their final destinations. And we're going to continue to pursue federal involvement.
What does that mean? What does that look like, pursue federal involvement?
Oh, well, Mark, I think you know we've had a number of discussions. We've facilitated FEMA's involvement with $1 million grant that has now been increased to work with our lead nonprofit agency. We facilitated using those grant funds to set up respite center in a neighboring jurisdiction. And I've also asked the Secretary of the Army to deploy the D.C. National Guard to help lead that effort.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that request? What is that going to look like? Do you plan on, how long are you requesting the Guard for? Are you planning on like a processing center or something more formal than what's been going on the sidewalk the past few weeks?
Well, we need space, and we need the federal government to be involved. So I've asked for the deployment of the Guard, as long as we need the Guard to deal with a humanitarian crisis that we expect to escalate. The number of people crossing the border seeking asylum, we expect to only go up. And we need to make sure that there is a national response, not an ad hoc, city by city, state by state response. We know that the federal government does this because we see this type of response with Afghan refugees, and now we see it with people who are coming to the United States from Ukraine. So there is a robust federal response that helps people with transportation on to their final destinations, and in even getting them a legal route to work, into a work permit. And we need a parallel system for the increasing numbers of people that we will see crossing the border seeking asylum.
I appreciate that. My last question on this. You I think, said this in the past, but do you believe that the federal government has a bigger responsibility in this, what you're calling a humanitarian crisis, because of the reason that, I mean, is this politics or is this a humanitarian? I mean, you called it a humanitarian crisis, but I think you've also blamed the governors of Texas and Arkansas for doing this as, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but...
Well, it's obviously politically motivated, and the reason why we're different in this is that people aren't coming to D.C. as their final destination. What we see is that they are moving on to their final destinations through D.C. And also what makes us different is we need to ask the president for use of our National Guard, which we know can be very helpful in these logistical matters and has access to space. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mayor, for all that you've done for us in this Ward 7. I'm a resident of Ward 7 here, and I'd just like to know, do you have any insight on what's going to happen with the security that we need for the increasing of crime that is coming to our community?
Well, we are very focused, as you know, on making sure that we have a two-pronged approach, or really a full spectrum approach that's focused on having the police officers that we need to be on patrol, but also engaging people who we know are likely to be involved in crime in more positive activities. So I'm proud that we've been able to increase our Pathways program, to increase the number of people who are working with our violence intervention programs, to increase community grants that are everyday Washingtonians who are providing programming that we want to support that keeps young people out of trouble.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, Mayor, I don't know if you've answered this already, but I just wanted to ask. Former President Trump came back to Washington for the first time since he left, and he said the city was dirty, trashed, people living in tents, and it was awful. I just wanted to know if you had any reaction to it.
I don't. All right, let's cut the ribbon. 1, 2, 3. Sure. All right.